Thank you so much, Andrew, for being here today. It's really nice being the HCSA office, and it would be really nice if you could share a little bit more about your organization, how the work that you're doing is related to really supporting our beneficiaries in attaining employment and getting sustained employment over time.
The Trampoline Fund has been a great support to our work. The work that we do is to really empower our vulnerable groups, which are ex-offenders, abused teenage girls, and single-parent families. So essentially what we're trying to do is to break the cycle of intergenerational social disadvantage. The Trampoline Fund has supported us with our single-parent family work through the Day Spring SPIN program and also our HCSA Academy, providing culinary skills. So if we take a detached view or a oversight of HCSA community services, what we do is really, there are 3 points. One would be they transit, because we believe that when they are going through a vulnerable situation, it is just temporary. It does not define them. It is not a life sentence. That's what we believe. So through this transitional, whether is it through our residential program, through the halfway house or shelter, or even through our rehabilitation of recovery through trauma complex or complex trauma. And if you're a single parent, we're going through a difficult time, you need practical support in terms of caregivers or caregiving, we are there as well. So this is what we would label as transit. And then there's a second stage, which is the training. We hope to empower them through upscaling in any way, could be soft skills, certified skills. So we have the HCSA Academy providing a 5 weeks WSQ course. And last but not least would be the transformation. So it's a 3T. We believe that once they have overcome their vulnerable state, they have transformed, they are able to contribute back to society, come back as volunteers. And that's what we have seen, some of them over the years that have come back to volunteer, whether it's ex-offenders, single parents, or even abused teenage girls who come back as mentors.
Amazing. So how is this related to the project that the FMAS Trampoline Fund is supporting, especially specifically to the HCSA Step Up program?
Okay, so for this particular initiative, the Step Up, essentially it is a mentoring or mentorship initiative. The end goal is to really sustain the reintegration of our ex-offenders and also teenage girls. Not just that, but we want to facilitate their social mobility, to enhance their employability. How do we do that? Through the mentoring. First is a new circle of friends, right? Because we want positive influence. The reality is most of our friends who are from vulnerable background cannot come out and break the cycle of the poverty mindset, or is it a poverty situation because of the environment that they're in. So we hope that through introducing positive role models through our corporate volunteers from different industries, they would have a different perspective of not just life, but probably ideas or decision making in terms of their current struggles that they may go through. When you're out there finding a job or in your studies, they have a different perspective. Secondly, of course, is through the Step Up, we are actually looking at how we could improve their skills, whether it's soft skills and also training skills. So for example, we all know that communication is a very important skill to have, soft skill. So through this mentoring journey, they are placed in a position where they need to articulate their goals, their feelings, which might not be something natural for them, right? But now they have a safe space to do that. And secondly, through the mentoring, we will identify goals that they might have. So let's say, for example, they want to graduate with a diploma, or they want to become a motivational speaker one day. Once we understand or we identify that goal, we will see what sort of skills or financial assistance to help them get a step up into achieving their goals. right? Yeah, so aside from the mentoring, we also provide workshops. We work with other corporate partners to volunteer and provide some engagement and impartation of their knowledge and skills.
Awesome. Maybe if you could share a little bit more about like some of the challenges actually that these like vulnerable individuals like. I mean, because maybe not a lot of us understand, right? I mean, for us, like going into employment, is indeed a struggle, but more so for them, what are the specific challenges that they face compared to their peers, which actually prevents them from attaining like sustained employment?
So when we talk about reintegration of ex-offenders or even at-risk girls or the girls that we serve who suffer abuse, the challenge comes when they are discharged from the residential program. They might be staying with us for 6 months to 18 months. And a lot of support and staffing as well, manpower, are dedicated towards the in-care, what we describe the in-care, the residential side. But once they are out, they complete the program, they are pretty much left on their own. And that is where actually much of the support is also needed, equally important, because if they do not have the right support or the support they might need at a particular time, they might relapse. They might reoffend, or they might suffer a breakdown of sorts and cause them to offend of sorts, or self-harm. So we identify that this is a gap that we need to address, but at the same time, there isn't much resources dedicated, whether it from funding or community support, because I think there hasn't been an initiative to sort of string the different stakeholders and to present the need in a clear and structured manner. And that's what the Step Up is all about. We design it in a way that it is structured. You know, everybody knows how much commitment is needed in terms of for volunteers and even for the beneficiaries or clients. Right? That, okay, I need 6 months. I have to give 6 months of my time for this mentoring initiative, and they know that, right? So they can commit to it. So in that way, that is how we design it in a way that we can rally everybody together and journey everybody through this journey of transformation, hopefully. Yeah, so how the Trampoline Fund comes into play. As with all our other two programs where the Trampoline Fund came in for HCSA Academy and Dayspring Spin, these were the early or the newer programs that we started. So the Step Up, similarly, is a very new initiative, which means we do not have a track record. It's challenging to get support without track record. And the majority trust comes at a point of time where it helps us to support the work that we want to do through the Step Up and to keep it going so that we can gain track record enough to gather more support for it to be sustainable.
Maybe is there like a story to share about like maybe a specific like beneficiary who has kind of attained support through like the mentoring journey? Share with me a little bit more about the relationship that they have with their corporate partner as well, and why it's so important to have specifically a corporate partner and not just like a general volunteer.
So I can name a handful of them, but I will maybe share 3 distinct ones. So there is James. James is an ex-offender who had in prison for 28 years. So he was released about 4 to 5 years ago, and he has been working in a logistics sector right now. Very hard labor work. We matched him with a mentor who is a lawyer from Allen Overy. He's much younger, probably in his early 30s, whereas James is probably in the 50s. So initially, they had some challenges because of the age gap, But over time, I think James realized some of the plus point that he could draw from his mentor, which his name is Jarvis. Because he's young, he's more tech savvy, he's more into what is current, that helps him with his reintegration. And then for Jarvis as a mentor who was much younger, he was of course feeling inadequate. What can he teach an older person? But he realized that, hey, actually he is also learning much from James. It's more of a friendship kind of thing, of journey. So one of the outcomes of this mentoring pairing was that we realized that James has been very actively volunteering on the weekends after his work, going to prison to provide counseling, right? And that is something that he's very passionate about, helping others. And one of the goals that he has is to be a certified counselor. Yeah, so we are looking to provide him the support that he needs to get certified, go through a course. Hopefully that could be his second career. Because how long can one be working in a hard labor? At 50. So I think that would be something worthwhile to pursue. So we want to help him prepare for his second career and perhaps his purpose in life as well through this. The second would be one of our girls. Her name is Natasha. We identified that she wanted to start a home-based business, but she didn't know how. So throughout the journey, her mentor and mental support were just getting to know her, building rapport, getting her trust, and finding out how she can build and plan that business as well. But aside from business, they provide a very holistic support. Even looking at their health, scheduling time aside from the mentoring, outside of the sessions, to go for walks, hikes. So these are some of the things that that really inspired me to see how our mentors and mentor support are going out of the way to journey with our mentees. And for Natasha, we provided some seed funding for her to start her home-based business. So she used the money to buy some accessories. She wants to be a makeup artist or some sort. So that was something that really inspired me. So the third story is how the Step Up initiative is really supporting our staff, in terms of augmenting the support towards our clients who are in the aftercare space. As mentioned earlier, there's a lack of resources given in the aftercare space. So our staff, or literally we do not have dedicated staff to support them. So there are two ways. One is the volunteers that comes in. So for example, there was this instance where one of our mentees was laid off. And the mentor and mentor support brought it into our attention. And that's where we were able to intervene or to come in, to say and to check on, or to check in with the mentee and say, hey, how can we help you? Is there anything? So I'm very glad to say that now he's again re-employed. He's working in the workplace safety and health profession. So that is one of the instances that I can think of how it has really helped, in supporting. And of course, through the Trampoline Fund, we'll be able to tap on the resources to have manpower in terms of coordinating some of the work that we do to run this mentorship. If not, we would not have the bandwidth to journey throughout the entire year of this Step Up initiative.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, from what you shared earlier, I can really hear how it's really a step-by-step process, and it really is it's very labor intensive. It takes a lot of time and a lot of heart as well to listen to the stories of the different individuals that you support. But it's also really beautiful to hear how this program, the HCSA Step Up program, has allowed your beneficiaries to kind of like dare to dream, take a step further to like aside from where they are right now in life, to strive further for like the first example. And yeah, so maybe if you could share with me like a learning point from, or like any learnings that you guys have gained through journeying with HCSA Step Up. I mean, because my understanding is that you are also continuing this program. Yes. So what have you learned? What you hope to continue? What are some tweaks that you're going to make?
Okay. So, I mean, what I've learned is that the community out there really do want to help, and support our ex-offenders and at-risk girls. Just do not know where to help or how to help. And that's exactly why now we started the Step Up initiative. And the last 2 years, it has been proven right. Because these are not easy group to journey with, and requires a lot of patience, a lot of empathy, really, because sometimes you get ghosted, but you cannot give up, and that's how I get inspired. I see that, really, we have kind people out there, who are willing to journey with our friends, and this has proven to me, that is true. What's next? The Step Up initiative has never been, from the beginning, something just for HCSA clients. It's been something that we wanted to sort of scale and roll it out to other charities who serve similar group of people. So because what we're addressing is a national social issue. So this coming year or the next edition, what we hope to do is to include other charities, whether it's a girls' home or a halfway house. Similarly, their alumni group are welcome to journey and to be paired with a mentor. And then my dream eventually is hopefully with a stable support from corporates as well. This can really become a employment placement also, but I don't think, I don't dare to say that it will be somewhere in the near future, but I believe with building up the credibility, understanding the needs, and getting stability of the partnerships within the Step Up, this can happen. Because it's just a natural progression, if they are joining and if the staff, is able to be a character referee of sorts or to point out to their HR. These are a human capital that also we can unleash their potential, in the job market for them.
With the plans for expansion and things like that, like what is actually your biggest challenge in expanding or continuing this, or going national?
That's a very good question. I think one of the key challenge is for our friends who are ex-offenders and are at-risk girls to embrace or to understand the concept of mentoring, because I think they are not used to this sort of relationship. It can be intimidating to them, because they always carry the notion that society do not accept them, society do not understand them, which can be true, of course, but whether they are willing to sort of debunk that as well, to challenge their so-called stereotypical notion. So that is really one of the challenge, and the other one would be because of what they have been through, not just about understanding or embracing the concept of mentoring, but being able to trust, have a more closer, intimate discussion. I think that's also a challenge for them. So the initial phase, the first 2 or 3 sessions is, I would say, would be quite a make or break it, for them to whether they feel comfortable, to go through the whole thing. So it may for some, it may not be for some. So I think that is something that on our end, I hope to present this Step Up initiative in a way that would help them understand that it's actually nothing so daunting. It's actually just going through getting new friends, and have fun, go have a venture and see where that leads you to.
So what happens to the participants of like the HCSA Step Up program, like after the end of the mentoring journey? I mean, because there's mentoring as well as the workshop. So what happens next for them?
So I would say that most of the time, what I have seen so far is that they become friends with the mentors and the mentor support. They still keep in touch. So that is always what we hope for, that becomes a community. It's not just a program, right? The second, aside from friendship, is seeing our mentees also eventually achieving their goals. So we try to keep track of where they are right now and to make sure that they get the support that they need. And thirdly is our end goal really is we hope our mentees can also become mentors one day because they would know the journey. They will volunteer in the Step Up initiative.
So really like a cycle.
Yeah,
Cycle of
they're coming back.
empowerment. Yeah,
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, sounds like through the support of the FMAS Trampoline Fund, your beneficiaries have really gained both soft skills as well as hard skills in both in their employment journey. Whether it be through building resilience and daring to dream, as well as to actually being connected to causes and getting the social capital, which would support them in their future employment goals. So with that, I would just like to ask if you have any final words to share for the supporters of the FMAS Trampoline Fund. Yeah.
So I just want to say thank you to the supporters of the Trampoline Fund, because the Step Up initiative is not one that is easy to support because in terms of the visibility of impact, it is not so tangible, right? It's not how many groceries packed that we give to someone or how much money do we disperse for each person. But a lot of intangibles, friendship, confidence, training, knowledge. All these are very hard to measure. And to expect a miracle within 6 sessions is quite impossible. But just like the name, right, it's called Step Up. What we are doing is sowing seeds. Sowing seeds because the benefits we reap may not be today or may not be tomorrow, but one day you will reap. It could be a couple of years down. I say this because I'm also an ex-offender myself, right? I although my last incarceration was 20 years ago, so I understand the impact of mentoring and what mentoring and a community can do. And that's how I designed the Step Up, based on my personal experience and what I've benefited. And then I realized what we can do through Step Up has a lot of potential. So I just ask that you believe in what we do, and we believe that our friends can really step up and also break the cycle of intergenerational social disadvantage in their lives and their children. I think one of the challenge that we would have is really, again, being able to continue supporting in terms of funds as well, okay? But aside just from funding, it would be about volunteers as well. We need more corporate volunteers coming on board because this is a mentoring journey. We need the commitment, We are looking at about 6 sessions. 1 session every month, and 1 session will take just 1 hour. But these 6 sessions will mean a lot to a mentee. We'll prove to them that the community does care for them, and the investment of time and love is put in. So I would like to appeal for more corporate volunteers to join us on board on the Step Up initiative.
Are there any specific needs in terms of corporate volunteers? What can they look forward to experiencing through journeying in the HCSA Step Up program?
I mean, if you're interested in joining us as a corporate volunteer to mentor or mentor support one of our mentees, we just need you to have a minimum working experience of at least 3 years, right? Some working experience. So that way you'll be able to provide some advice of sorts, and to be an encouragement. So being able to empathize, exercise empathy, to journey with our mentees would be much, much needed as well. So don't worry about skill sets or knowledge. We will do the onboarding, so do not fear, because we are here. Yeah. So with that, I invite you to join us and journey with one of our mentees. Thank you.